locked in with the indictment. Just wanted to check in with everybody. We appreciate all the support. Told you we're going to keep it coming. We're going to discuss the topics. We're going to make this a real discussion, breaking down and clarifying some laws, state and federal laws. You know, check us out if you're interested in the subject and you want to know about this, you want to get some of this language broke down to where you can understand it. Check us out at the indictment. Listen, this is what I want to talk about. I get this question a lot. Just had a recent experience myself, and the main thing people will ask about, what is the process? When you get arrested, what are the steps? What happens once you get arrested? So I'm going to try to take this as quickly as possible, but not too fast. I'm going to try to go slow, but we're going to talk about what happens when you actually get arrested for a crime. So when the police officer arrests you, now there are many different scenarios in which you can get arrested. It can be a traffic stop, a kick in, a stop, or turn yourself in, a lot. But just say in general, when you get arrested by a police officer, the police officer, remember, he's not a lawyer. He doesn't really know the law like the prosecuting attorney. But the police officer is law enforcement. He's the street contact. When they arrest you, they bring you in and turn you over to the authorities of the detention center, which is the jail that you go to. Okay? Then they submit what's called an incident report to the assistant prosecuting attorney. When they give their prosecuting attorney their report, the prosecuting attorney is going to look at the report, look at what they're accusing you of doing, what they're saying happened, and then make a decision. Okay, I'm going to charge this person, him or her, with this. And I'm going to charge them with this crime or that crime. This is where you hear about the infamous 24-hour hold. Then a charge gets issued. That's if the prosecuting attorney goes over the incident report given to him by the police and makes a decision to charge you. That is when you have been officially charged by the DA's office. Now, once that happens, and we're going to just assume this is a felony, once that happens, you're going to go to initial hearing after your first 24 hours. And that's going to be like a bond review. Basically, the judge is going to decide whether or not you can get released on bail, and if so, how much should your bond or bail be? Your lawyer will argue that you should get out, you should go home, you have a job, you have a family, whatnot. The prosecuting attorney is going to argue for no bond. You should stay in detainment until the case is worked out. The judge will make a decision, okay? If you get bond, you'll get released, but you'll still have to come to court. If you don't make bond, of course, you'll still be incarcerated. So now, once that happens, you have that initial first court appearance, and you decide if you find out if you're getting bond or not. Then what happens is your case is going to get taken either to a grand jury or you're going to have a preliminary hearing. Now let me explain. A preliminary hearing is held by a judge. It's like a mini trial, a small trial, but it's not a trial at all. It's just an opportunity for the prosecuting attorney to present evidence to the judge, and the judge to even decide, well, okay, there is enough evidence there to take this person to trial. Or the judge can say, that's sketchy. That's not enough evidence. Nope, it's not. I'm dismissing the case. It's not enough to take him to trial. That is what happens in a preliminary hearing. Also, prosecutors have the option of taking the case before what's called a grand jury. A grand jury is just 12 people from off the streets. They're regular citizens. They're not lawyers or anything. They're called in to do jury duty. And at the grand jury, the only person there is the prosecutor and the police. Your lawyer is not there. You're not there. You don't know anything about it. So therefore, it's easy to get an indictment in front of a grand jury because the only side of the story getting told is that from the prosecutor. So this is why most people always get indicted. So don't worry about that. The only thing that does is once you are indicted, or if a judge says, yes, there is enough to bound this over or enough to take him to trial, then the next step is you're going to go to court for a formal arraignment. Now that the steps have been passed, the police have arrested you, they wrote an incident report, gave it to the prosecuting attorney. Prosecuting attorney decided, this is what I'm going to charge him with. It took it before a grand jury. A grand jury said, yes, you have enough evidence, or they took it before a judge. Yes, you have enough evidence. Now you need to appear in court, and the judge is going to ask you, how do you plead to the charge of first degree, second degree, or third degree, whatever the crime is? You're going to answer by way of your attorney, who will probably answer for you, will say, we enter a plea of not guilty. You can enter a plea of guilty, but it's very, very rarely done. I would never recommend it. No, anybody with any sense of the law would never recommend you just plead guilty at your arraignment. Okay, you enter a plea of not guilty, and then you'll have a new court date set that will determine your trial date. And between that court date and your trial date, you may have something called status hearings, where the judge wants your lawyer and the prosecutor to meet up and, hey, where are we at with the case? What's going on? Are there any motions that need to be discussed? Are we going to trial? Is there going to be a plea bargain? Now, if you go to trial, you will still have an opportunity maybe for a plea bargain. And this is where most of us fall through the cracks in the system, is that we get paraded through due to the plea bargaining system. We hear about all the time that we're facing, and then we say, well, they'll drop this charge and amend that charge, and I will only do this much time. But sometimes I need you to just be careful about that. Make sure you study your case, study your police report. The prosecuting attorney has to give your attorney every piece of evidence that they have against you before you go to a trial. So that means you won't have to go to court not knowing what they have against you. You will know. They will turn it over to your attorney. Your attorney will give it to you. You study it and know it, and then you will know if some of those charges would have even stuck with you anyway. A lot of times those charges weren't there anyway. So that's what I wanted to talk about. What happens when the police makes an arrest? When they arrest you, again, they submit a report to the prosecuting attorney saying, hey, this is what happened. The prosecuting attorney says, well, okay, I know the law. This is what laws was broken. I'm going to charge him with this. Take it before the judge for preliminary hearing or the grand jury. Then you go to a formal arraignment. You enter your plea. Then you're set off to go to trial or plea bargain. You know, God bless those that are innocent. I pray that your trials, you are found not guilty. We do have a crime surge in the country right now, so that is something that needs to be looked at and dealt with, and we're going to have to figure out how to balance that out without just destroying people's lives, you know, flushing them away into the justice system. But I appreciate everybody tuning in with us. This is The Indictment. We got much, much more coming your way. You know, we're working hard to bring you new stories. We got some interviews coming up with some really good people, with some attorneys, and I pray that you all tune in and check us out, because it's going to be really good information. Please don't hesitate to send in your questions, your comments. Go in the link or the bio, and please get the office number, get the email, and everything you need to contact us. So like I said, let's just help each other. Let's get some clarity on what's going on, because, you know, the laws are everything. Everything is governed by law. And think, we just talking about criminal law right now. You have property law, you have finance law. Everything in your life is governed by law. You want to start a business, there's a law you have to follow. There's a process you have to follow. So let's get into this. It's The Indictment. See y'all in a minute.